Alright, so this is vlog number 5. This is not gonna be like a day in the life. This is not gonna be no gym session. What does vlog stand for? I think it stands for video log, but this is just gonna be a video that I wanna talk about, I wanna throw out there. And the topic of discussion is believe you can and you're already halfway there. Throughout my life, I've had plenty of instances and experiences where I've had plenty of experiences where I didn't know if I could. I never took myself to extreme lengths before. So doing something like this, making a move like this, might have been like scary to the ordinary. Simple things like running 3 miles for the first time. Other things like hitting a PR for the first time. And a more recent one being running a marathon for the first time. If I am in no way before running a marathon did I believe I was a runner. There was other people faster than me with their zone 2. They have a lower heart rate and whatnot. They look like they were built for running. They look like they've been running their whole lives. And myself, I'm in no shape or form close to them. But running the marathon, I believed I can do it. Even before, when I signed up for the marathon, I was already envisioning the end goal. If you don't see yourself completing something, if you don't see yourself doing something, it's more than likely never going to happen. Which is why I'm saying, believe you can and you're already halfway there. Like me experiencing my first cut ever, from never having abs, never having muscle definition, hitting the gym consistently, but not adapting a new diet. I remember my dad telling me before I started hitting the gym, during when I started hitting the gym, and my brother was into the gym, and his genetics he turns out to be much leaner, with his upper body, and he was marked, like he was dies, like you can tell. And my dad would always say, he would always mention that, that's just my genetics. I'm not gonna be able to get marked like that. I'm not gonna be able to have abs or anything like that. So I always like to go against those odds. I remember my dad when I was real young telling me that I'm just naturally not a fast runner. So I would just practice speed until I get faster and faster. And my fastest mile turned out to be a 5-minute and 32-second mile. And other people can claim that they are faster, and that's fine, but this is my race. This is not yours. You cannot believe in me for me. I have to believe in myself, which is why I'm saying, you believe you can and you're already halfway there. During my first cut, I was envisioning myself with abs. I was envisioning myself with muscle definition. I was envisioning, me being diced. And I was envisioning my dream body. My marathon, I was envisioning, me biting the metal. I was envisioning, me running on tired legs. I mean, I really just want to come on here and say, like, you believe you can and you're already halfway there. That's something that I'm very passionate about. Everybody that knows me knows that I will preach that. I have a buddy of mine who signed up for the half marathon, who, he was dilly-dallying his running. I'm not going to lie. Like, training leading up to the half marathon, he's never ran more than, I believe, 4 miles around there. He's never ran more than that in his life. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to run a half marathon. I'm going to do 13 miles. He went and he got that shit done that day. He completed the half marathon without ever being a runner. He doesn't even look like a runner. And he went and he did that. It doesn't matter how long, it doesn't matter how fast, but he went and he completed the half marathon. And I would love to know what was in his mind the whole time when he was running that race. I can almost guarantee he was willing to crawl through that entire lap, throughout that entire course, as long as he would complete that half marathon. You have to be willing to die for your goals. You have to use your drive. You have to use energy. You have to use momentum. You have to use all these things. But the most important thing that you have to do is believe in yourself. Because if you believe that you can, you're already halfway there. And that's the issue with a lot of people. A lot of people let other people point fingers in front of their face, tell them, you're not that fast, you're not that strong, I don't think you can do this. It's just doubters. They're displaying their own insecurities onto you. They're projecting their own insecurities onto you, and you're taking that in, and that's how you become insecure. And that's how you start to believe. How can you go and believe in other people on what they got to say about you if they don't know what you've been through? They don't know you as a person. You set your own standard. Don't let anybody set that for you. Just believe you can, and you're already halfway there. This is how you can conquer anything, man. Like, I read a book a couple years back, The Power of the Subconscious Mind, and it's a really good read. I'm basically gonna sum it up for you, so I wouldn't say that you have to read it, but I mean, if you want to, go for it. But basically, the summary of that book, the power of the subconscious mind is that you are what you think. You are what you think. If you like to think that you're this ugly person, or you're a weak person, or that you can't handle anything, or things of that nature, you're gonna become that subconsciously. It's gonna subconsciously go into you, and you wake up and you're gonna feel that way. You're gonna feel like a loser. Why? Because this is what you think about all the time. But on the flip side, if you think of yourself as a winner, as a go-getter, as someone who can accomplish anything that they set their minds to, you will become that person. You will become that person. And, conquering the day, I mean, you go and you do things like hit the gym, in a day, or you do 110% at work, like you eat right that day. You're conquering the day. You're building more momentum. You're building confidence to go into that next day and live like a winner that next day as well. You truly are who you think. Whoever you think you may be, that's who you become. That's how your body adapts to you. The most powerful tool that we have in this world is our minds. And your mind is so powerful. So why would you let someone else's mind interfere with yours? People who are doing better than you will never criticize you. They will never take the time to put you down. People who are doing better than you will never take the time to put you down. They're focused on themselves. They're focused on the next thing. They're focused on winning. The people that bring you down are the people that haven't done nothing. And that's just what I wanted to get on here and talk about, because I really truly care for people who doubt themselves, people who believe they can't, because I've been there before too. But I would hope someday, whatever the case may be, whether you do a 5K, you do a marathon, whether you're going for a new PR in the gym, whether you want to go and even start vlogging. I believe I'm a vlogger. And I want to speak something to existence. I will run a 50-mile ultra. And you'll see that sometime soon. You'll see the vlog of how I feel after. Maybe you'll see me running in the 50-mile ultra, but that's something that I'm going to do. I'm going to get back on my shit. I'm going to get back to running. Because what? If you believe you can, you're already halfway there. I'll see you on the next one.